Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is nikymus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share this video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. So in this video, guys, I'm going to let you know exactly how God protects the chosen ones. And I'll start with a very short story, something that happened recently. A few days ago, that was about 4 days ago, if I remember well. So all of a sudden, I just entered the taxi. I just grabbed a cab. I was going back home, so I just grabbed a cab. And for some reason, for the first time in my life, I just decided to wear the seatbelt. It has rarely happened that I enter taxis and I wear my seatbelt. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter whether I'm traveling short or long distances. I never usually wear the seatbelts. But for the very first time in my life, and I'm going to come to the reason why I wore that seatbelt. I wore the seatbelt, and I jumped into the cab, and we took off. And somewhere in the middle of the road, the driver fell asleep. The driver literally fell asleep on the wheel. And all of a sudden, the next thing I saw, the car just slid off the road and hit the pavement. But of course, definitely, because during that incident, when the car was sliding off the road, I screamed to the driver and I told him, hey, where are you going? You know, like what's going on? So it's like the driver was in shock. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, he just woke up and he managed to stop in time. But eventually, the car hit the pavement. And then I noticed that along that journey, the driver had actually fallen asleep on the wheel. Now we are going to come to that incident, and I'm going to tell you what happened before that incident. So 2 days ago, before that incident, I was still somewhere and standing somewhere, and all of a sudden I see this car speeding off on the very small street. This was a very small, a rural street. The car was almost at 50 miles an hour, and the car all of a sudden, I just saw the car went and ran into the roundabout. You know what I mean? So the guy was speeding at around 50 miles an hour, and he just couldn't stop in time, and he just went on to hit the roundabout. Now, my own incident happened 2 days after that incident. And the reason why I'm telling you this is that usually, chosen one, God is going to show you a lot of things. A lot of things are going to start making sense. The very moment you start getting the switch and you wake up, you're going to notice that a lot of things are making a lot of sense. The universe is going to start mirroring you. God is going to show you a lot of incidents before they happen. So, of course, in that time I couldn't make out what God was trying to show me. You know what I mean? At that point when I saw that accident, the car that ran into the roundabout, I could not make up the whole situation of what was going on. Only later on to find out 2 days later that actually I was also involved in some kind of an accident. You know what I mean? So a lot of you chosen ones, you're going to know, I've always told you guys in my videos, you are protected. So you are protected. For me, in my case, when I saw that incident of the roundabout, that guy who ran into the roundabout, the next thing I did, I said that anytime I ever get into a car, it does not matter what car it is, I have got to put my seatbelt on. Whether I'm sitting at the back or not, I always have to go to put my seatbelt. So that is how that day, when the taxi driver came to pick me up, all of a sudden, for some reason, I say, okay, this day, I'm going to, from today onwards, I'm going to use my seatbelt. And on that particular day, I just wore my seatbelt. So a lot of you chosen one, the meaning in this video is to let you know you're going to be protected. The very moment you decide you decide and you understand, you come to that knowledge of self that you're chosen one, you're going to notice that actually God and the angels, they're always around you. They are going to show you a lot of signs. There may be some of you guys who are trying to go into these things of dating and these things like that. But for some reason, an injunction is going to put God is going to put an injunction on that date. So for some reason, you're going to see that date is not going to work out. You know what I mean? You may see sometimes the people you're going to meet, the people you meet on those dates, they are going to all of a sudden to ghost you. Sometimes you may go on those dates, and those dates you're going to experience a lot of problems on those dates with those particular individuals. That is because God is actually trying to block you from dating particular individuals, because a chosen one, I've always mentioned it in my videos, a chosen one doesn't simply date anybody else. So a chosen one, normally the only perfect date you can ever get into is a date that is meant for your highest good. These are the individuals who are vibrating at your frequency. You can never be able to date anybody that is not in your frequency. So most of the times when you decide to say that you're going to probably jump into dates, and again, these are things I've seen myself. If you're going to go onto dates, you're going to start dating somebody. Normally, God is watching those things that you cannot see. You as a chosen one, you may think that, okay, so those individuals, they are good for you. You know what I mean? You can always go and date them and start some kind of a relationship or things like that. But I can guarantee you guys, before you even start those dates, you're going to see the signs, you're going to see the writings on the wall. You might all of a sudden watch on TV, before you go on a date, you may just watch on TV, you know what I mean? And something is going to be telling you about a date that went sour, or about a date that went bad, or about somebody. Probably you're going to meet somebody who is very evil. You're going to start seeing all those signs in front of you. And for the chosen ones, because a lot of chosen ones, they're highly intuitive. So you're now going to start to use your intuition to see if whatever it is you're planning for your life ahead of you, is it good for you or not. So you're going to start to make very, very crucial major decisions if you want to carry on with those dates or not. So most of the times you're going to see a lot of things explaining someone dating unsuccessfully, or someone dating and ending into problems, or even sometimes you guys chosen ones, you might go on those particular dates, and those dates from the very beginning of those dates are going to begin with problems. So you're going to see the signs all around you. You will see them on notice board. You will see sometimes it may be just a word showing off someone on the notice board along your journey before you go on a particular date. You may be seeing something on the phone. You may be seeing something on TV. You may be reading something on the book, but the signs are going to be around you. The universe is going to start to show you anytime anything you're going to get involved with. You are going to see those things in advance playing out in front of you, and God is going to do everything in everything possible to warn you about the people you're going to meet. So a lot of you chosen ones, you found yourselves in situations whereby before you got into a situation, before you moved into a certain direction, before you made a certain decision, you have already been seeing the signs before. It is your intuition speaking. It is God, because God speaks through intuition. So because these are not the days of the Bible whereby God will just come out of the sudden from the sky and speak direct to people. So God is now going to start to speak to you through intuition, and is going to start to show you the signs. There are going to be writings on the wall about the events that are most likely going to happen in your own personal life at a future stage in time. So if it is a date, God is going to warn you. You will be seeing a lot of signs. Do not go there. Don't do this and don't do that. It is dangerous, or something like that. Sometimes it may be just a word, a simple word like that. You may see a word on TV that is very dangerous, a very bad date, or things like that. And you're going to know that actually God is speaking to you, that date, whatever it is, that person you're trying to meet, that person is not for your highest good, and you should not carry on and go and date those people, because those individuals, if you try to go with them, those dates are going to end up in disaster. So the chosen one, God will speak to you through intuition. And you have got to know, I've always mentioned it, guys, in my videos, God is always protecting you. So for me, in my case, on that journey of the taxi incident, God spoke to me before the accident. That was 2 days before. And God showed me actually a real accident of a car that actually ran into the roundabout. It was speeding off, and it ran into and hit the roundabout because the guy couldn't stop in time. So God was simply telling me that, hey, anytime you get into a car or things like that, just wear your seatbelts. Because it has never happened to me that usually when I jump into taxis or Ubers or things like that, I never usually wear my seatbelt. But before that incident, I can guarantee you, I saw a car in front of me. This was in a few meters away. The car hit the roundabout, and from that day, just my intuition spoke to me that anytime you ever get into a taxi or any other car of some sort, you just have to put your seatbelt on, just for your own safety. And for the first time in my life, I jumped in the Uber and I put my seatbelt on, and that is exactly the same time when the driver fell asleep on the wheel and slid off the road just to hit the pavement. So chosen ones, you've got to know whatever it is you're doing, you're protected, you're guarded. The only thing you've got to know is to read the signs. There is always the writings on the wall. The universe is always mirroring you on each and every single day. Whatever it is you are doing, any decision you want to take, even if it's a business. You may be somebody who is trying to start up some kind of a business, and all of a sudden you're going to hear about people who opened up a business and they lost all their money, or you may sometimes hear about a certain shop that you wanted to rent, and somebody rented a shop somewhere and that shop caught fire or things like that, then they lost all their money. So you're going to see all these signs are going to start showing up in front of you. That is actually God speaking to you. God is going to speak to you through messages, through synchronicities. You're going to see all your life playing out in front of you. Anything you're deciding to do, it is first of all going to play in front of you in some kind of different way. It may not be necessarily the way you expect. Like I said, you may see a message on your phone warning you, do not open up that business. It may be the sign warning you. It may even sometimes it may come into a dream. It has happened to me so many times, whereby I've got so many premonitions in my dreams. When I was leaving the narcissist, in those last days when I left the narcissist, I remember having a dream. So in that dream, the dream was showing me. Now in those days I was not yet awakened. You know what I mean? So I was still struggling with with the discard, because I was going through the Hoover. That was the first discard. You know what I mean? So in those days, in the first days, I had a dream, and that dream told me exactly. That dream showed me what is going to happen to the narcissist. So whatever incident was happening at that moment, because that time there was a new supply and everything, so there was this transaction going on. So God appeared to me in the dream and showed me exactly what is going to happen to the narcissist. That is the very moment I took a decision, and I knew this was God speaking to me, and I did not want to be a part of it. So I did everything in my power to make sure that I exit that situation, because that situation already God showed me even before my awakening. That was before my awakening. God had already showed me that the individual you are dealing with is a very, very dangerous individual, and you have got to get out of there very quickly, as soon as you can. So that is one of the things I used in the days when I was living the narcissist. I hung on to that vision I had, because I knew all those things was happening. God was showing me a lot of things, a lot of signs, dangerous signs. So I got out of there. I was able to save myself. So for the most of you guys, chosen ones out there, there is going to be so many things along your journey. There will be things you're going to see. There will be things you're going to meet. There will be people you meet. A person who is not good for you, for the most of you guys, especially I'm talking about the situation whereby you guys are trying to get into dating. The dating is one of the most complicated thing you can ever think about as a chosen one. So dating is going to become very, very complicated for you. Any person I've dated after the narcissist, any person I've gone on to dates after my ex-narc, that was after my awakening, any person I've met along my journey, I can guarantee you that as a chosen one, whether you knew it or you didn't know it, nothing ever worked. So it just happened for some reason. It just happened that for some reason I felt something was blocking those relationships. You know what I mean? So there was this thing with the greater narc, and there were a few other relationships in between, you know, but very short encounters and things like that. But any encounter I would meet, especially if it came to a female, I will guarantee you guys it never worked, because there was an injection happening. There was a blockage happening. God was always putting the blockages, because the chosen one, remember, you awaken and you're supposed to ascend to become the highest version of yourself. So a lot of things that are coming into your journey, things that are coming into your life, those things are usually coming in as blockages. And most of the cases, you are also going to experience something what they call spiritual attacks. So along your journey as a chosen one, as you journey on to ascend, to become the better version of yourself, the best version of yourself, you're going to meet a lot of these things along your journey. There will be a lot of blockages. There will be a lot of spiritual attacks. For me, in my case, I just believe that that incident of the accident and something like that, that was a spiritual attack. You know what I mean? So because, like I've said, guys, these entities, they can use anything. They can just use some simple things such as poisoning, food poisoning. I've been food poisoned before. You know what I mean? There was a case where I attended a certain function somewhere, and I ended up getting food poisoned. Eventually, I knew what it was all about. So I just knew that it was not all about the food I was eating, but I knew that all those kind of attacks, they will happen to individuals that are chosen. So sometimes they're going to come like that, like simple accidents. So most of the cases, they may appear as simple accidents, food poisoning, something like relationships. You know what I mean? Somebody wants to come into your life because they're trying to come in to destroy you. They're trying to come in, intoxicate you, and stop you from ascending and growth. So sometimes they may be just the partners that you're trying to date. Most of those individuals, God is going to tell you, and God is going to let you know in broad daylight that the individuals you're trying to bring into your life, those guys, because remember, God can see everything. God can look through people. So the things you cannot see, God will already see all those things before you. So anybody tries to come in, look around you. look for the signs, look on the wall. There is always the writings on the wall. It may be something will appear on your phone, on your television, on the signboard, on the poster. You will see the signs everywhere. It is going to tell you straight away whatever it is you're trying to do. Remember, guys, if you want to know something about your life, if you're making a decision, if you're trying to know something about your life and you're making a major decision, you always have to bring in God into this situation and ask God. Let God guide you and show you exactly the decision you're going to take. Is it the right decision or not? So you should always send out the questions to the universe. And believe me or not, guys, whether you know it or you don't know it, I've seen it along my journey. God is now going to start to speak to you through so many different kinds of ways. And that is when you're going to know, should you carry on and go on and do whatever it is you want to do, or should you put an injection? Should you straight away block it and stop it and decide not to continue with whatever it is you plan to do? Chosen ones, you've got to understand in this video, you are protected. You are highly protected. God is with you, the angels are with you, your ancestors, the universe has got your back in each and every single way. So there is nothing whatever will ever happen to you, but as well, it is also upon you to listen to the signs. Don't ignore the signs. You have got to listen to the signs. And by this, I mean, always listen to your intuition. Your intuition is going to tell you and direct you on your next moves. Sometimes it may be the right things, but sometimes it may not be 100% accurate. But most of the cases, your intuition is going to tell you exactly where do you need to go and what you need to do and the decisions that you need to make about your own personal journey. So chosen ones, spiritual attacks are real. Most of you guys, you might experience a lot of spiritual attacks. So like I've said, I've given you examples of the accident and I've given you other examples that might happen. A lot of you chosen ones have been writing to me about the relationships and things like that and dating situations and like that. Everything that you do along your journey, you're going to get the warnings first. Before you get into anything as a chosen one, you're going to get the warnings first. So any individual want to come into your life, God is going to show you a sign. Any business you want to open as a chosen one, I will guarantee you, before you start that business, you're going to get the intuition and the signs, whether you should go ahead or not. So you're going to always be directed. So I call it the universal compass. So you're going to be following some kind of a universal compass to bring you to a certain direction. But that direction should be exactly where you need to go. You know what I mean? So you should always decipher the difference between where do you want to go and where do you need to go. There's a difference between need and want. Want is something you want to do. Yes, you want to date someone. You want to date somebody. You want to start a relationship. But do you really need that relationship? At that point, do you really need that relationship? That should be the question. If the question is no, there's going to be an injunction. And God is going to do everything in His power to stop and to block that relationship from happening. Because remember, some individuals, they're coming to destroy you. They're coming in to stop your journey. They're coming in to stop your ascension. And sometimes the easiest way they can do that is to bring to you people of the opposite sex to do that. So most of those guys, they will come in as blockages. Read the signs, guys. There's the writings on the wall. That being said, guys, much love and blessings. I just want to share with you my experience, my recent experience of the recent spiritual attack I had and how the universe intervened to help me with this incident and how I got out of it. So let me know what you think in this video, guys. Much love and blessings. I love you all. I always appreciate and love your support. Catch you in my next video, and peace. There's more signing out.